When I was younger, I don't know if it was middle school or high school, I actually took a art class. Wasn't that good in it. And then my junior year in high school, I was in the drama class and actually got a role in the play. So I have a little bit of exposure, not real well. Obviously, being a PE teacher, I excelled more in the sports.
Okay.
I think that actually they both bring some similarities, because they're an interest that individuals like. People like sports, people like art, and you tend to be more disciplined in art or drama or in sports. There's creativity. I would say there's a little bit more with the creativity in the art and music and drama. But at the same time, being creative in sports also helps because you need to outdo your opponent in some way other than the normal routine. But art people tend to be more creative, mind thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great that students are involved in whichever that they have an interest in. Being in art, if that's what they have an interest in, it's great because it's something they like and it helps them express themselves. So I don't think there should be a yes or no. I think being active outside of your normal core classes is great for balancing out individuals. And the world is so big, you need a variety of different people bringing themselves and meshing together.
That's true.
Well, we know that the best formula for being physically fit or staying in shape or being healthy is being physically active and eating correctly. There's all these other gimmicks that you can do, but in the end, being physically active and eating appropriately are the two best equations for being fit and healthier lifelong living, preventing maybe heart disease and cancer and stuff like that. So having a good mixture of being physically fit, say if you really are an art student and that's your main event, but then you need to learn to incorporate get out of the chair and move around. Mm-hmm. But in PE, we focus on the, developing the muscles, in building up your endurance and creating that energy flow, because being physically active also just regenerates and gives you energy. Mm-hmm. I read an article where a PE teacher offered without pay to have a 0 period and for PE class, and it was geared towards students with ADD or ADHD. Mm-hmm. And the students came in first thing in the morning, and it was it was ran a little bit more rigorous than your standard PE class. Mm-hmm. And the students wanted to be there, and so they worked really hard. They burned off that energy, they got the blood flowing, and then they took a survey and they were able to focus in their other classes throughout the day. Prior to the PE class, they were having a hard time sitting still. They were just off la la land. They weren't able to focus. And when the teacher volunteered to do that, those students' grades went up and their attention span improved. So yes. Every time I go to a workshop, we discuss the different ways of learning. And I look at myself and the two main that help me learn doesn't necessarily be the same for how you learn. Mm-hmm. And so trying to display all those possibilities, because the teachers, we want the students to do well, we want them to excel. Mm-hmm. And the other really good thing with PE, art, and music is we all need an outlet. You guys go in your chemistry class, your math classes, your English, and you're working really hard, and you need an outlet. Not that you don't learn and work hard in your PE classes or your art classes, but a way for me, like when I get stressed, when I go out and be physically active, it helps me release a lot of that stress. Mm-hmm. And I know for some people it's writing. They're writing their journals. Doesn't necessarily help me that much, but for people it helps. Maybe for you, because you mentioned drawing, mm-hmm. helps you. And so if you're having a hard time, maybe you start drawing and it helps you relax and just regain composure. So the art, the music, the PE are really good outlets to help relieve stress and get back on focus.